Berlin Township regular meeting for November 10th, 2025. Please all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call roll.
Trustee Peka?
Here.
Trustee Real?
Here.
Trustee Bullard?
Here.
Thank you. That takes us to public comment. If you have any public comment for this evening, please state your first name and last name. Public comment is restricted to 4 minutes. That being said, is there any public comment? Thank you. That brings us to the approval of meeting minutes for October 27th. Move to approve the October 27th, 2025 regular meeting minutes and dispense with the reading.
Okay.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion. I appreciate how swiftly they were turned around for review, and I'm deeply grateful to our new fiscal officer, Kraft, for the evolution of meeting minutes we are undergoing. Please call roll.
Trustee Real?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Peka?
Yes.
Thank you. That will take us to fire, but if I could just deviate from the agenda for one moment, gentlemen. I did want to remark that we did have an election, and I'm pleased that I was able to come out and be here with you, gentlemen, and I appreciate the service and the time and the commitment. Also want to acknowledge Mr. Dodd Sutton, our trustee-elect, who is with us this evening. Really excited to work with you. You've done great work for the township for a number of years, and looking forward to the 4 more productive years that we'll have together. With that said, move on to fire. Steve Taylor.
How are we doing tonight?
We?
Yeah, how are we doing? We're good?
Awesome. We are well.
All right, I'll start with the requisitions. I just have a few tonight. The first one would be for 2025-084 to Simsu Share, which is a software that we use for training in the amount of $1,650. That's a renewal of existing software that we currently have for tactical operations, incident command type training. Basically what it does is the software allows us to take photos of existing structures in our community and then burn them down, for lack of a better term.
Burn them down?
Yeah, we can actually put effects to them and take pictures of all 4 sides and have smoke showing, fire showing, victims, that sort of thing. So it's actually quite a cool program. So.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve requisition number 2025-084 future of Highland, Illinois, in the amount of $1,650. So moved.
Second, moved by Trustee Bullard, seconded by the chair. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Peka?
Yes.
Trustee Real?
Yes.
The second requisition I have this evening will be 2025-085 to Career and Technical Education Centers of Licking County. This will be for live fire training. We are actually sharing this with Harlem Township. We're going to do 3 days of live fire burns over there. The reason we're going over there rather than staying local is DACC will not allow us to burn in their facility just yet. They just put that new facility in, and they've not come up with a plan and a structure to allow outside agencies to conduct live burn training. So we're going to go over to CTEC and do that. So it's the amount of $750. It's $250 a day, which is half the cost. Again, we're sharing with Harlem Township.
So Chief, this is a 1-day training?
3 days.
3 days?
Yes, sir.
So 3 days at $250.
Yep, 3 days at $250. That's why the $750. Normally it's $500 per day charge, but we're sharing with Harlem, so
That's good.
it's helped to save us some money.
Move to approve requisition 2025-085 in the amount of $750 for the purposes of live fire training.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion. Do you have any other questions? Please call roll.
Trustee Peka?
Yes.
Trustee Real?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
And the last requisition I have is 2025-086 to R&T Yoder. This will be our maintenance agreement for, a renewal of our maintenance agreement for our HVAC system at the station. They come out, change filters, make sure the system is working to, performance that we need it to. The amount of $793.
Move to approve requisition 2025-086 in the amount of $793 for purposes of renewal of annual maintenance agreements for HVAC system.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bowler. Discussion.
This doesn't have any, adder for, incidentals, and, this 793, that's what it is, right?
Yes,
Because if it goes to 794, we gotta come back and have another meeting.
it is, 793 is the quote I have in front of me, so it's for maintenance and them to come out and do the annual maintenance for it. So.
Okay.
Maybe just as a friendly reminder, if you want to add a couple bucks here or there for the expected cost versus anticipated, so we don't come into a, hey, you need $40 for this,
Right.
well, unexpected repair.
If I may.
We don't expect it to be used.
Correct. I think the fiscal officer and I, in the budgeting process, would plan to have some money allocated for facility maintenance, so that if something comes up, that's not covered by the contract. We would still be able to do that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
You see my monthly report attached with all the information, data for October. Fairly busy month for us. Obviously, October is fire prevention month, so the crews were busy at schools doing fire prevention activities. We visited, I think, every school for a trunk or treat, did the trick or treat out in the community, had our open house. It was a busy month, so that's pretty much all I have to say about that one.
And the pinning ceremony.
Yes, and then, of course, the pinning ceremony we held on Friday, it was a great event. We were very pleased to be able to do that, and it's kind of the first ever, ceremony we've had, and be able to pin our folks that have completed probation, and I thank you for attending, and administrator, and, we look forward to doing more.
Yeah, I think it was a really, really special event, family and friends showing up, and I think a great way to cap off a very productive month by the fire. So please extend our thanks to the entire fire department. You guys do great work, not only with regards to fire and safety, but also with regards to community engagement.
Well, I appreciate that, and I know the guys, they work hard at getting out in the community and doing their jobs.
They do a great job.
I appreciate that, and I'll make sure to extend that to them.
Thank you. Any other thoughts for fire considerations? Moving along to roads and cemetery department.
First requisition I got is a blanket for the new truck to outfit it. It's going to be through various vendors. One's going to be Dexter, who does all our other trucks for strobes, backup alarm, work lights, and stuff like that. And the other one is going to be us putting on the Nerf bars and some other stuff, and then to equip it with tools, since we've never had a truck equipped with tools to use out in the field. We've always had to take stuff out of here and then put it in the truck, and then try and make sure everyone puts everything back. We're going to equip one truck with a set of tools to have out on the road.
Okay,
So
that makes sense, right?
I'd like to do a blanket not to exceed 15,000. Stuff through Dexter is going to be about 7,500 for the backup alarm, the strobes, the headache rack, and all that. And then Pickups Plus is where I've got the floor mats, the seat covers, and the running boards from, and they're 2,500. And that leaves us about 3 to 5 to put tools and equipment in the truck.
Trustee Bullard, did you have any?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve requisition R11-01 to various vendors for $15,000 to equip the new truck with strobes, power inverter, work lights, tools, and safety equipment, running boards, floor mats, seat covers, and supplies.
Second, moved by trustee Bullard, seconded by the chair. Discussion?
Does this create any kind of a problem going to various vendors or an audit? Let me ask that.
That's probably a question for the fiscal officer. Does having a blanket and not specifying the various vendors cause any problems for potential audit?
Usually blankets are for utilities, it's kind of a grab off for those kind of things. So I think putting a blanket over, if we know it's dedicated to the truck, it's one line item, I think we're fine.
Okay.
Okay?
As long as you are happy with it, I'm happy with it.
Yep.
Jesse, I do have a question. On the Nerf bars, do they come with the mud flaps, or does the truck already have the mud flaps on? They're separate, but it's getting them. It is? Okay. I just didn't see it listed. So. Yeah, there's a few other things that I because there's also going to be coverage for the center console and stuff like that to keep people from. All right, thank you.
Mucking it up.
Yeah, trying to keep it as clean as possible.
Further discussion? Please call roll.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
My second requisition is to put new Nerf bars on the Green F-450. The other ones, someone got in the truck and they rusted off. And it's a little bit of a high jump for a few of our employees to try and get in safely, especially with winter and snow coming. So I'd like to replace Nerf bars on the F-450.
Move to approve requisition R11-02 for the amount of $544.39 for the purposes of replacing the Nerf bars.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Paycock. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
And then my final thing is Dale Ford Road.
Yes.
So when we did the roads tour with the engineer's office and Doug, we stopped and looked at the safety concerns that was been brought up in the REA for Dale Ford Road. And at the curve at Clover Plains, we know we have enough right of way, we could widen the upper and the lower side of that curve a little bit to make it so that there's a little more area and pavement for walkers and bicycles to be a temporary safety measure and a cheap one that we can facilitate fairly easy with the RIP program next year. It's not, I would say, it's not the cure-all, but it's something quick and easy we could start with. And we can also use it, the engineer's office is acquiring the 4 flag lots for Rolls and Pyatt to be extended. And there's talk of using the paved driveway that is there as a 10-foot supplemental path to tie in Rolls and Pyatt to Dale Ford, and we could do all that work at one time next year with the RIP program. The roads department will be responsible for excavating it, putting the 3 or 4 down, and then Shelley Company will come in and pave.
Can we include that in the RIP program?
Yes, the paving part we'll include in the RIP because we don't have really know, but we can use our contract through Ohio Rental and get the excavator and stuff to do the dirt work and put 3 or 4 down.
Do you gentlemen think that that's a viable temporary solution for that area? This was in response to, as you may recall, there's been numerous incidents where the cars go too fast on that curve and then end up in one of the neighbors' front yards. And I think we were talking about sidewalks, we were talking about various solutions, but I don't think there's appetite for any of those items right now, not even amongst the neighbors.
No.
Jesse, you think this will have an effect that would, at least for a safety perspective, there's more pavement area wider is going to be better. I mean, it'd be ideal to have an actual safe path off the roadway, but since we don't have enough right of way, at least this gives us more pavement so people, if they do need to move over to allow for a walker or someone on a bicycle, it's not going into a ditch or going off into soft burn. Like I said, it's not the total answer, but it's at least a step in the right direction.
And I will say that I was at the Dale Ford Halloween and they were moving that super pump across 36, 37 at the same time. So a lot of traffic was being diverted down Rollison, the curve to Dale Ford. Everyone was speeding so fast down that road. And because they weren't familiar with the area, I personally saw them having trouble with that curve. And so firsthand, I've seen this safety issue occur, At the end of the day, was the result with the REA, I think Trustee Paycoff mentioned that they found previously that most of the speeders were the actual residents themselves. Was there any notation about that in the safety recommendations that were provided this time around?
We have not received everything back from the
Okay.
engineer's office, because they're also still doing the speed study to try and lower it.
Okay, yeah.
So it'll be all included with that. This was just something, and we could piggyback off the RE we have to get a cost for that.
Right.
So I was kind of bringing it up to get the board's appetite on how they want to proceed with it.
And the follow-up with that's been some years ago, that traffic, I've been watching that traffic, and there is a tremendous amount of traffic through there since the new school is there, and cut through traffic. It is there's a tremendous amount more traffic when there used to be on that road.
The hard part is this is all just going to be it's a needed safety improvement, but once Rollis and Pyatt's open, ideally people will start using Rollis and Pyatt.
Exactly.
But we just have to keep it safe until we get to that point of 2 to 3
Well,
years.
and even still, the Dale Ford neighbors will still be able to use that curve to get over to Rollis and Pyatt. So it adds another safety component onto the road itself for those residents, which I think is good.
Yeah, the curve has been there since I can ever remember. It's just that people drive too fast. And that's a problem.
They treat it as a suggestion, not as a requirement.
It is a problem.
And on a road like that, it's just like,
It's
in order to
narrow.
even go that fast, you have to kind of be in the middle of the road. You
It's
know?
narrow, there's no good shoulders, there's a little bit of berm or you're off in the ditch. And we are looking at some of the other suggestions that were brought up, but as a quick, easy one that can be implemented next year for sure through the RIP program, I think it would be something viable to at least see what the cost is going to be.
Yeah. So
We need to write an article for either the newsletter or the website or both about safety and using the roads and stuff. The other night I was driving down Belford Road and I had my beam lights on, just low beam, not on high beam. And somebody was walking down the road in dark clothes with absolutely no reflective anything on it. I saw him, that didn't have a problem, but it's the kind of thing that would be very easy to get hit. And
Well, unfortunately, it's this problem exists throughout the whole county. It's just not prevalent here, it's everywhere.
And then does the board want me to look more with the engineer's office about exploring the use of that driveway for a supplemental?
yeah, I would say both and.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe have them as separate items.
Okay.
But I think that would be good. to
and
look
for
at.
the next 4 months, it's going to be dark at 5 o'clock and before. And a lot of people want to do their walking after work or after when they get home, and it's not safe at all. And even the streets that have sidewalks, a lot of people walk in the street, or exercise or run in the street or do that sort of thing. You can't make them use the sidewalks. It would be good if they would.
Yeah. That's a great point too about the newsletter article. So maybe we can make certain that something gets in there related to that. And not just on Dale Ford, but.
Try to write a little paragraph on that.
Okay.
Put something together.
That's fantastic, thank you. Further discussion, so you have consensus from the board, I don't think we need to take any action at this time. And perhaps we look at it as 2 different solutions from a line item perspective. Maybe we, because there's an imminent safety issue on the curve, but then the angle of that path, that might be 3 or 4 years down the road when the connector comes. So maybe we can have both in mind and have a plan for that, but deal with it at different times. Thank you for looking into that and for your work on that, Director Peter. Any other roads or cemetery items other than what was in the report? Okay, thank you. Moving on to fiscal officer items.
Okay, just a few things tonight. You should have in front of you the payment listings that we've done in the last since our last meeting
Yes.
for warrants, whatever you call them, $39,890.73 in payments. And Lazy Boy was the big one there at $8,900. That was pre-approved in like 2 meetings ago for fire. And then on the electronic payments, we had $26,234.90, and the biggie there was the September OPNF report. Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's your payment listings.
Thank you.
Then I'm not sure what the electronic payment was. What's the
That's what the ACH is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Credit card limits. So in front of you, we printed out, who has current credit cards. For example, Adam Miller still has a credit card here. This Jacob Bond still has a credit card here. So I'm trying to clean all this up. I had access to the system online. The other thing I found was our limit is $12,000, which everybody keeps telling me it's $8,000. Do you guys remember if
It was 8,000.
they did increase it?
It was 8,000,
Okay.
yeah.
It was 8,000. Well, now the system shows 12. And do you remember approving that increase in session? 8 to 12? I can't find anything on it.
If we did, it would have been in the organizational meeting minutes.
Okay, I'll look through there. If not, then I will be presenting to the board next week a formal request to change it to $12,000.
I recall us having a discussion. I don't recall us if we took formal action or not for that.
Okay. So once we get, I requested
We
cards.
could, do you want us to take action on that tonight regardless?
If you want to, that's fine. We can do that.
Gentlemen, are you guys comfortable with raising that limit to 12,000? That's for total across the township.
And it covers 2 months of expenses, because the way the billing cycle works is if you charge $6,000, until you have paid that, that hangs on the credit card balance. It takes from your available balance and while you're charging in the new cycle. So
And this credit card is with whom?
First Common Law.
First Common
So
Law.
we do get rebates back with it.
Okay. Now, that sounds like a very reasonable number to me to get through 2 months.
For all of the
For
township.
after the whole township.
What about you, Trustee Bullard?
No, it's,
So this would be the maximum credit card limit.
This is our program limits across all users.
Move to increase the program limit across all users for the credit card limit from 8,000 to 12,000, effective immediately.
First Commonwealth Bank.
With First Commonwealth Day. Thank you for the friendly amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Paycock. Discussion. As mentioned, this seems like a very reasonable increase, especially given the cost increases that have taken place. Further discussion, please call roll.
Trustee Bullard?
yes,
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rayo?
Yes.
One other thing on this. So, like I said, AJ's card is still open until the chief and assistant chief and Brandon Conley get their cards. Once they get their cards, we can cancel Adams because they're still using that card as it's the only one available in fire right now. And then Jacob's card is being used by zoning. So I'd like to request that we issue a card for the zoning department, so we can kind of get the actual usernames matching who's actually spending the money.
And who would be the one responsible for spending zoning money currently?
Do we have to assign a name?
I can ask for zoning department.
Yeah, that would be my preference.
Okay.
And what was the limit for the individual credit cards?
Right now, the limits are right on the side are 2,000 for everybody except for Jesse's at 3. He has some subscriptions, and then AJ's right now is at 3.
So bond is 2,000.
2,000.
Move to remove Jacob Bond as a card holder and replace the credit card for zoning with the username as zoning department in a total amount not to exceed $2,000, effective immediately.
do we need to
Do I have a second?
put someone else? Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion.
do we need to put someone else in that position, or?
We're gonna try to do the zoning department right now.
If that doesn't work, I'll let you know.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work,
They
then,
might, but,
You have to have a list of names.
yeah, I mean, Cindy's the only one in the
Yeah,
department
she's
right
a-
now, so.
Do we need to, provide for Alicia to be able to spend that money for zoning
Lisa now?
with the card? It doesn't have to be in this motion, but so that, the zoning has the ability to be able to use that card, not taking from Alicia's card. And I don't think you spend any money, but making sure that that could be spent for zoning, otherwise it all comes here.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody has used Jacob Bond's card, have they?
Yes. That's my point, is they're using it right now in zoning,
Oh, who
because
is
they don't
using
have a credit card in zoning.
Who is using it? You?
When we have to take things to the post office.
Yeah.
Because it also has the township underneath, so both names are listed.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But my point is, I want to get this reconciled, he's not here, we shouldn't have charges under his name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
What I'm getting at is we could take Jacob Bond off, but we can put either Alicia or Aubrey as, just put their name on in his place.
We're trying to get away from having a specified individual and have the department name so that any of the zoning staff can make a purchase with the card if needed.
How about this? I think that what Administrator Hale is suggesting gives us more flexibility, but we might not be able to do it. So if we can't do it, then I think that we should put it under your name for the time being. Do you agree?
That's fine.
Okay. So we'll ask if we can do general zoning, and if not, we'll put it under your name for the time being.
Yeah, as soon as we get a director, I would prefer to go into their name.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to do that in this motion or a different motion, or how do you want to do that? It's just a friendly thought.
I'll do a second motion. So
Okay.
since we already seconded the first one.
We didn't vote for it.
Yep. So do we have any more discussion on this? Okay, please call roll.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes,
And so then a follow-up motion to this will be that, how would we say it? It would be if we cannot have zoning department listed on the credit card to
Have an approved list of
just like
employees.
it.
to approve Administrator Hale to be listed as the name on the card.
Got it.
So moved.
Second.
Sloppy. Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes,
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the mess that is credit cards, we're getting that cleaned up,
Great.
so that's great. Inventory, believe it or not, after, I don't know how long it's been on the agenda, but you do have inventory in your packet for approval.
Whoa.
We will be doing this again in 2 months. So, just be aware. I think it's in here.
Phenomenal. I don't see
It was
it.
attached separately.
It was attached separately?
Oh.
Okay, alright.
It was scanned attached? Yes. Okay, got it.
So, it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, we'll do it again. You'll see almost something pretty much identical, and except for now, we'll have Jesse's truck on it when that delivers. So,
And we got all the fire items taken care of. Thank you for that. And so do we need to do a motion to approve inventory? And this is for what year? This year.
2025.
Move to approve the inventory as listed for 2025.
second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Please call roll.
Trustee Bullard,
Yes,
Trustee Rail,
Yes.
Trustee Paycock.
Yes.
Better late than never. Thank you. That's a huge accomplishment by your office. Appreciate your work on
Thanks for the
that.
time. Then the other, when I had 2025 appropriations, because we weren't sure exactly how, I did find it, by the way.
Did you find it?
I did find it. He did submit it at the fund level. So, We're getting ready, we're starting the discussions right now on 2026 appropriations. I'll be sending out an email once I finish. I've been meeting with Aubrey and each of her department heads to put together the appropriations. I'll send out an email with what they look like as well as basically what the ask is. And so you guys will see that soon. In the past, it looks like you guys have approved appropriations at the fund level. Is that the way you want to continue to do it? You approved, like when I was looking online, you've approved appropriations at the fund level, so. That gives basically fiscal flexibility to move it around within the fund as needed.
I'm okay with that.
I think it probably has to be though, doesn't it?
No, we did it like one level down in orange, but it's all, if the county takes it like this, then I don't know why you wouldn't, because it gives you the most flexibility.
If you're planning though, if you have plans for that money, it's in your capital
Yes.
improvement plan, you can include all of it and it's there.
Yes.
So I think one step down, it's really an arbitrary number. I mean, so
Yeah.
you might as well put it in there and approve the whole budget.
Yep.
I would, for
Okay.
safety's sakes, that's probably what I would do.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
And especially if there's a chance we're going to one meeting a month, because otherwise, if we run out of money in a line item, we've got to either do a special or, wait. So, and that's a consideration for next year, so.
Great.
Okay, that's all I got. Sorry for.
Do you need a motion for that?
No, we'll need a motion to approve them once I get them in front of you. So, but we're good for now. Thank you, Doc.
Gotcha.
Excellent. Excellent by the fiscal office. All right, moving on to administrator
Are we
items.
signing or not?
No, we don't need to approve these ones anymore, right? Fiscal officer, correct?
Approve which ones?
We don't need to approve the positive pay.
No, because you'll be signing the checks and you'll be signing the ACH.
We sign over there now.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't have to
That's
sign
a lot of
those.
stuff in our signing station today.
A lot of checks.
Lot of checks.
We were told in the past that we needed to, even though we signed the checks, we needed to do this too. And we had the
We
motion.
covered it and
Yeah.
it's public record that
Yeah.
that it's been presented to you.
Right.
So that's what is required. That's what my understanding is required that it's been presented to you.
I will say that we were very explicitly told what Trustee Bullard has said, however,
Was that by the prosecutor's office
Yes.
or auditor? Really?
the prosecutor's office had indicated, even though we had signed, even though we did this, but because once the amount was actually output, but I would say that it was a very conservative interpretation, and I have not heard that since.
Yeah.
From
I've
that.
never had an auditor tell me that.
And we have a different assistant prosecutor now working with us, so.
We never used to do it.
Yeah.
And
Once again,
Then
we've
we-
never had an auditor ask
Never
you
did.
for it.
And now we're back to going like.
Now we're
we
back
used
to
do,
very much.
Which is the way it seems like we should do it. But,
Yes, agreed.
Okay,
That was exactly your point when when that came through initially.
I just wanted to be
See,
clear.
you've been around enough that it all comes back.
Sit around that circle.
Very good, thank you. Okay, administrator items, holiday pay.
I only have one this evening. It came to my attention that in the employee handbook, it specifies that employees are to be paid either 4 hours for a half day of work on a holiday or 8 hours for a full day. However, we have a number of staff that have a regularly scheduled 10-hour shift. And so because it specified the 8 hours, not the 10 hours, it came to my attention that we were actually, they were not getting a full 40 hours when holidays come up. And so before you this evening is a revision to the policy to allow, starting with, effective tomorrow, if the board pleases, to allow us to pay them 10 hours or 5 hours if it's a half day. And this would not be counted there's no circumstance in talking to our legal counsel that this would ever become anything but straight time because it's not hours actually worked. So it would never create an overtime situation.
Correct.
Okay, any questions for Administrator Hale regarding this policy? And you can see it's a blue line version. the blue red line version. I had the chance to review it, I thought that everything looked on point. Any further discussion on this matter? What resolution number are we at?
Just looking. You're faster than me.
And I believe if we do this, we want to do this forward, not backwards.
Correct, it would only be for holidays, starting with tomorrow being Veterans
So
Day.
should we start it today so that
Yes,
there's
no,
no,
effective today.
what's that?
I was looking at the minutes to see.
This is the first resolution, so it'd be 11.
Oh, 11, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
2025-11.
I think we used to count any motion as a resolution before.
Oh,
And I-
really?
And I know that that's not standard, but it's totally fine the way they.
Okay, no, we can start, because we had the requisitions,
Yeah,
so that's a good discussion. So we want motions to have numbers.
yes, that's how we've historically done it, and I think it's good for record keeping services, but if you wanna do it
Well, then that
differently.
would be 3, it would be 3, because you just did 2 with the credit cards.
Because we did it, well, all of the requisitions that we approved.
They had their own numbers.
Yeah,
that you
they're
read.
numbers, yeah.
So you want those to have their requisition number or a motion?
This is a good discussion. So, historically, they always had their own requisition number,
Mhm.
but it doesn't have to be that way, as you know.
Yeah.
So, I'm open to either. Would you gentlemen like any motion brought forward to have its own independent requisition number, or does it not matter to you all if there's requisitions and motions distinct? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
It's okay,
Either way.
yeah, either one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you can, if you approve the requisitions, you can approve them all at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
because they're all a record.
Yeah,
So there's no reason to approve just one at a time.
right.
Just throw them together, those are requisitions with your numbers.
That's the consent agenda.
Yes.
The county uses that. Orange Township, we did a change back in 2020 to a consent agenda, and that was exactly what was on there.
Okay.
That's not what we're doing right now.
It's not.
We're doing independent requisitions, but Fiscal Officer Kraft's point is that the motions have unique requisition numbers still attached, so there's an
That's correct.
identifier.
That's correct.
So it's a little bit redundant to have all of our motions count as requisitions, but it made the requisition log clear on what passed in meetings.
Yeah.
It's a little bit duplicative though, it seems.
Yeah, because you-
What we would get would be something that would look like this, and then we would prove this, and this would be a whole bunch of different vendors, with the prices and stuff. And if we object to something or something, we get a line item veto.
If we went to a consent agenda,
So we
yeah.
can, so we can line item out something.
Yeah, because you can approve them from the top one through the bottom one motion, with an exception.
Yeah, and so the exceptions would be.
Do you, would you like to go to a consent agenda for these meetings, or do you like going through the individual requisitions?
I don't see a need to unless the board wishes to. I know consent agendas have worked in other organizations very well. It certainly helps speed up the meeting and makes it efficient. It's what the board pleases.
Let's consider that at the organizational
There you go.
meeting.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, let's have however the fiscal officer would like to track the motions and resolutions. So this would be our first resolution then?
Yeah.
Well, now, if you're gonna do that, you had the requisitions, we did have 2 other motions, so this would be number 3. So I'll go ahead and number those motions.
Okay,
This will be number 3.
okay.
And what that means is you'll be making that decision. Okay, at that time.
Something that we would do resolutions separately from motions, so we
Yeah.
would just do resolutions would go 1 through whatever, and then motions we would do 2025-1, 2025-2.
So you did keep them distinct?
We did them separately, but I mean, that's just the way we did it.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of places do that. So,
Yeah.
so we're at resolution number 3 then. All right, that was a lengthier discussion than I thought, but a good one. Move to approve resolution number 25-11-03, resolution amending policy 3.13 paid holidays. Whereas the Board of Trustees previously adopted policy 3.13 paid holidays for full-time township employees, and whereas the board finds it appropriate and desires to amend policy 3.13 paid holidays to align the paid holiday hours for full-time employees working 10-hour shifts, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Berlin Township, Delaware County, Ohio, that the board hereby amends policy 3.13 paid holidays in accordance with the attached amended policy, and be it further resolved that this amendment shall take effect on 11/10/2025, and be it further resolved that the township administrator is authorized and directed to issue the amended policy 3.13 paid holidays, and be it further resolved that this action and all deliberations upon this matter were conducted and taken in open meeting in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code section 121.22. The resolution shall take effect and be enforced from the date of its adoption.
Moved. Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bowler. Discussion. Just as a friendly point, because it's not captured in this resolution, we're talking about non-bargaining
Yes.
employees.
Yes.
So that would be important to make clear. Any further discussion? Please call roll.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bowler?
Yes.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention, Administrator Hale.
Can we go back to the list of things for do we want to make it some sort of dollar limit on it? So that you don't get a $200,000 transportation trip?
So if we go to consent agenda for approval of requisitions, you would want to potentially cap what we can have on the spreadsheet that we can bring forward, so that we're not just blanketly approving accumulated amount of
A
200,000.
road project or something like that.
How about we cap it at whatever we approve the purchase policy at?
That would make
I was
sense.
like a $70,000 truck for its building. I would prefer it to be its line item.
Oh, I see, individual line item.
Or a $300,000 road improvement program project, or a $500,000 road project.
That's a great point. So because I do think there's value to us talking about it openly in public session.
Sure.
For especially the bigger purchases. So is there a certain dollar amount that we say, look, we can have a consent agenda for these items up to 25,000, anything more than that, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. Anything more than that, we'd like to have as an individual requisition and have a discussion before.
You could set that number. Realistically, what, 5,000 would catch the majority of these.
I would put it probably,
Not in the
25?
fire department's usually
Yeah.
larger than that.
About
But,
15.
but those could be individual requisitions,
It could,
and they would actually help find them. If they were lazy boy chairs for 8,900, you could split that out and see how it goes over 5,000. Because most of your day in, day out stuff is 3,500, 1,400. I mean, only the large carpet cleaning 1,600. I mean, that would be a good safeguard, I would say, and easier to find if it was over a certain amount that you could put, easier to find if there were
fine,
asset purchases or something like that.
right.
And you could actually probably do that too, if it was asset purchases, have their own requisition number.
Yeah.
Not just bills,
Right.
but
So we have two different numbers on the table. Trustee Bullard, would you lean more towards 5,000 or more towards 25,000?
25,000 sounds fine for me. I mean,
one single item over
Pardon?
one single item over 25,000?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, one single item up to 25,000. I think most of the bigger projects and stuff are going to be more than 25,000. And I'm thinking, like, if we got an attachment for the tractor, we could spend $10,000, $15,000 on certain attachments. But if you're going to buy a new lawnmower or something like that, I'd like to have that be broken out and discussed, that sort of thing. And I think 25,000 is something in that range.
Yeah,
Given
I'm
the
gonna,
inflation rate for everything,
Yeah.
25,000 is gonna be, you know.
and I'm gonna look for some input, from our fiscal
I mean, I
officer,
don't care what.
what you'd like to see, because
I'd like to see it match the purchase policy. Because I mean, quite honestly, when you think about it, the purchase policy, you are empowering your leaders here to purchase to a certain limit, right? So this is basically showing you this consent. If we went to a consent agenda, we'd basically say, hey, here's what you've empowered your leaders to, right? So, you know, trust me, I've sat through meetings where we talk for 20 minutes about the price of a hot dog at the concession stand at the pool. And trustees, especially as we grow, do not need to be in the minutia of those discussions, right? So at some point we have to say, okay, purchase policy says you are accountable and responsible for this, you know, authorized for this amount of money. And that's what I feel like the consent should match. So if we give them $15,000 or $10,000, you know, capability, then it should be the $10,000. Whatever we end up approving in the new purchase policy, which is hopefully will be presented by the end of the year, you think? Yeah.
and that's a number.
Yeah.
Is where I'm going with this.
Yep.
So whether it's $5,000 or $10,000, there's not a whole lot. If that number is larger than that 10, you probably want to track it a little bit easier than just having it all thrown together.
Yeah.
So
Because you guys are going to ask for more details.
you're going to ask more details. So what I'm saying is, Trustee Bowman, I don't think it has to be $25,000. Now you guys
It
can,
could be anything.
Yeah.
Whatever.
yeah,
I'm not tied to that, no.
Yeah. But if it was $10,000,
But whatever, like I said, I think it should match the, you know, you've given your department leaders, you're going to give your department leaders responsibility or authority at a certain level of spending. And that's what I think should be, the consent agenda should mirror that, right? So.
And I don't want to see, let's say, if it's 25,000 or 10,000 or whatever it is, I don't want to see 3 months worth every month, same thing, with the same amount of money to try to get around
I get it.
you get one big.
Yeah, I would flag that.
You
Yeah,
know,
I get that 100%.
You know, you need $40,000 worth of fire hose, I don't want to see 8 months worth of $5,000.
Because that creates actually a burden on fiscal, because we would have to do that 3 times, right? So, yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
and I think, Ron, that's just why I was looking for that smaller number.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excellent discussion. So,
All right, I'll propose something. I had done a memo at Orange Township and we moved to the consent agenda. I'll do the same.
okay, well, and it's, no rush. You have 6 weeks or so, but I would like to do it with the pay policy. I think that makes a
The
lot of
purchase
sense.
policy?
The purchase policy, yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. In the meantime, we'll just par for the course.
Yeah, I mean, the right time to make that change would be, you know, the first of the year.
Okay.
So,
Do we need a motion on that?
No, we're gonna do it at the organizational meeting meeting when we have the
Okay.
purchase policy flushed out too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, zoning department. We have, the zoning permit report, and for new homes, we are at 155 this year, which is slower pace than prior years, so, not sure if that number is expected to pick up in November or December. I don't anticipate it will, so any comments on that,
I do
Administrator?
not, continue to appreciate, our contractual partners and the services they're providing.
Likewise, Orange and Crossroads have done a great job keeping operations smooth over there. Any other items for zoning?
The only thing I noticed is, we're gonna be off this year, in the number of houses.
Yeah, so
We're
slow.
gonna be under 200 for the first time in a long time.
Yeah. And it was last year, or the year before, we were at 370 plus. So, I mean, this is a major slowdown for new home permits.
Well, I think it's what's available. There isn't near as much available right now in the township.
Mm-hmm.
There's an awful lot of dirt being moved now, which says to me there's gonna be a lot of hours next year.
Next year.
Yeah, especially over at Evans Farms, you see that dirt moving. All right, very good. Any further discussion for zoning? Okay, trustee items. JED board appointments. I believe this one was trustee Haycock and Administrator Hale. Either of you want to start?
This is the three resolutions that were before you last meeting for the JED board, and it is the board's discretion as to those three appointments.
Okay, excellent. Trustee Haycock, do we have any movement with appointments?
Well, I did have a conversation with Rick Carr. On their jet, he would like to be on the board. And his wife Lori would like to have both of them put on the board.
No.
That was his request. So I said I would bring it to the board tonight. We would discuss it.
They can have one.
Well,
What do you think?
No comment, but only one.
Okay, so
I can go back to him with that.
he can have a
He
solid
can have
one.
and he gets two, right? But he cannot have his wife. as-
Correct.
And so
It's
that
him
would-
or his wife.
And he needs to pick.
Yeah.
So that would be the number 3.
That would be the third.
I asked him about the legalities of that, and I think he was gonna check into that.
I don't even know that it is legal, but even
Yeah,
if it is,
today, but-
it's not.
Yeah, if it's not the will of the board, then that's fine, I'll go back with him.
So he can save himself some legal fees.
Say he can have one,
Yeah.
he or his wife Lori.
Yeah.
And then he can pick another one.
Yes, exactly. Okay, then what about the next individual? I guess we would have to go back and see.
And I would like to see the township trustee, one of the township trustees be the number 2 member.
Okay, do you want paper, rock, scissors for it?
Pardon?
Do you want to do paper, rock, scissors for it? Just kidding.
Draws, draws.
I'm just kidding.
One
Draws.
draws.
Do we have anyone that has appetite for it? I mean, I'm happy to do it if that's what we want. I'm happy to serve in that capacity, but if either of you gentlemen would prefer it, I'm perfectly fine with that as well.
Well, what do you think? I'm thinking it would be one of the 3 trustees who should be that person. I'm saying that for discussion purposes.
Oh, okay. Trustee Pickoff, what do you think about one of the 3 being, this is for board member number 2?
Typically, do townships have their trustee represent them on the jet? Typically, what I have seen at the county level is they appoint people to them, but I'm not sure how the townships.
I have not
I see
heard of a
developers, I've
trustee
seen
being on the
attorneys,
board.
I see zoning people, I mean, I've seen, but I don't think I've ever seen a township trustee be on that board.
Okay.
And I don't know what the reasoning is, I'm just saying I don't think I've seen that. Because this person represents 2 townships, Berlin Township and Concord Township.
Well, and I suppose it is, I don't actually know of a situation where a trustee is on a jet board in the township. But that said, I do appreciate your point because if this individual is intended to represent the township and we are the elected,
So,
right?
it could be a conflict of interest at some point.
Well, it could be a conflict of interest on that side, but it also, you know, if we end up appointing somebody that is not acting in the interest of the township board, that also could be a problem. Because they're not elected, they don't have that weight of responsibility to do what's best in the interest of Berlin Township necessarily. So whoever we would choose, we would want to make certain that they are acting in the best interest of Concord and Berlin.
Yeah, so I don't have the answer to that. I would take further research.
Would you like me to put this on the November 24th agenda and inquire with legal counsel?
Yeah.
I think we better
Yeah.
to be safe, because we do not have the car appointments anyway. So
Yeah.
I will push to the 24th.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. So we're gonna look into, as far as Berlin Township and Concord Township's representation, we're gonna look into legal for that. We are gonna go back to, so board number 3 member is going to either be Lori or Rick. And then board number 4 shall represent the persons working within district. So, now I see why they did it, why they wanted it the way that they mentioned it. Because I don't think we know who's working within that JED district, except for we know Lori and Rick are.
Yes.
Now that's a weird conundrum.
I can get advice on that.
Because that district,
It's tiny.
it's tiny, but could grow.
Yeah, like,
It could grow with the additional, the property owners beside it and behind it, and it could grow. And it could grow with another person, another developer, another entity.
well, so maybe what we do is we ask legal about it at all. But then when you speak with Rick, perhaps we say, yeah, you guys are the only 2 that are the business owner and the person working in this district that we know of right now. But we would like to, when you have somebody working in that district who can serve other than one of you, we would like one of you to step down.
And I do want to clarify, in seeking my own clarification to this last meeting and speaking with our legal counsel, it does not have to be someone who fits that criteria. It merely has to be somebody representing the interests of that criteria. So it does not have to be somebody working in it. It just has to be somebody
Who
appointed to
will
represent
represent
the
who are
interests.
working in that.
Yes.
Okay, that's much more flexible. So maybe it would be, let's say Rick is or let's say Lori's representing business owner interest. If they know that they're gonna have somebody like a pool instructor working in that area, and they could appoint them because they would be representing those interests, like a director of their other swim club or something like that.
But again, it does not have to be an
Right.
employee in that district. So it
But
could
it
be
could-
somebody else that the board, and as I clarified last time, does not have to be a resident. So it could be somebody who lives outside of the township that the board sees fit to sit on that board.
Right, and the only reason why I mentioned it could be like a higher level employee in their organizations because they know that that person would be representing the interests of those working there. So it would just make it sense. But I get what you're saying in terms of it not being necessary.
Lisa, do you know who Orange Township put in theirs yet?
It was me, it was the administrator, but she was phasing out, the zoning director was stepping in. It was Dan Griffin, it was Zinos from Free Pillar, is that his name?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
And then it was the fiscal officer, over in Shawnee Hills. And we had an attorney that was always there from, Griggs, our attorney person.
They were a board member?
I don't know if they were a board member, but they were always at the meetings.
Mm.
So,
may have been representing the board.
Yeah. So those are the people that come to mind right now.
You might be a good candidate for that area.
Well, thank you. I am on, I am on another one at the present time, but, just learning the system.
Think about it.
I think about it.
Think about it. We're not taking action tonight anyway, but I think that would readily resolve the Berlin Township representation. We'll get some clarification on the other items, and we'll come back hopefully to be able to take action on the 24th.
Yeah, I just think we need to plan for a little bit of growth on this one.
Okay, that's a fair statement.
Yeah, if there's any issues.
Yeah, that's what she offered as well. Yeah.
Is there any way to come up with a recommendation before the next meeting, so we can do the report next meeting?
Yeah, so.
Otherwise, we get the legal, and then we gotta go to the next meeting to be able to.
So do you want to inform Administrator Hale of the discussion, and then?
I'm happy to share, as I have done in the past, just as an FYI with the board legal's response. You each can give thought to it and then maybe come prepared to the next meeting to have that discussion.
Yeah.
So I will try to get that yet this week so that you will have.
That representation is important in these checks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's very important that that person understand and know what is going on with that JED, what is the best for their vote. So, yeah, I'll talk to Rick and then send us a little do a little discovery here and figure it out.
Okay. Right. Okay, annexation. What a word. Okay, so I asked this to be put on the agenda. As the board is aware, I've reached out to the city of Delaware on a few occasions. I've recently reached out to 4 of those members to request a one-on-one meeting, particularly related to the Berlin Station Road area. As you gentlemen also received, I provided the graphic of the approved TIFs that we have received final confirmation on, as well as what was likely unknown to the city at the time that this annexation application came through. We have awaiting hundreds of acres of TIF in that immediate area. I have received follow-up from 2 of the council members, and I will be having a discussion with them. But one of the things that I've been asked about is a little bit about how the comprehensive plan for Delaware came to be, what has been the historical relationship of the city of Delaware to Berlin Township with regard to these annexation plans. And I wanted it to provide occasion for you gentlemen to provide some of that historical context, with keeping in mind that most of the board members there are newer and had nothing to do with some of that history. And I'm really, really, really interested in what we could potentially do in collaboration to help secure some of those borders, but also find a win for the residents who are going to be the present and future residents in those areas. So I thought I could start with Trustee Bullard. You know, a lot of this stuff happened in 2016, as I understand. There was the potential for an annexation agreement between the city of Delaware and Berlin Township, and I'm unclear as to what happened, but I know that the end result was that the city of Delaware joined with Delaware County for a sewer provision, and at that time the annexation agreement fell apart. Could you provide some additional context for that?
Now, there isn't too much on that, but the sewer agreement is basically outside the Norfolk, the CSX tracks and Peaceful Road. As far as that's basically the division for the sewer between the county and the city. And the county, if you look at what's going on at 3637 and the properties that are in Berlin Township, but being serviced by Delaware County Sewer, that the county doesn't get hung up when you put it on the sewer, whether it's in the city or in the township. They're going to service it in their sewer district. So the sewer district doesn't really divide or say that's where the lines are going to be.
It doesn't have to, but it's my understanding that the city of Delaware is compelling property owners to annex if they are providing the sewer. So you're right about the county, but like Rick Carr was in here saying that they got the county to provide the sewer, but the city is saying that if the city provides it, that they
They've used that as a hammer to get people to annex. Well, the annexations have been within that area, or that quadrant, let's call it, with the Norfolk, the CSX tracks and Peaceville Road have been the area where the annexations have occurred. And the water agreement from Delco Water is the same thing. Delco Water says they won't provide an increase in water flow to the area that I just mentioned. So the only way to get more water is to get it from the city. So the city has got this agreement with Delco Water that makes it so that, I mean, if you want to put a development over there, Delco says they won't provide the water. Put it that way.
They're not allowed to do system upgrades.
Right. They would add a house, like if it was a lot split for one or two houses here or there, those kind of things, but they're not adding development lots or anything of that nature.
I think that's what happened back in the late 90s when they annexed south of Cheshire Road, the golf course development. The problem was for the next landowner, he couldn't get water. So he had to go to the city because of the Delco water agreement that they would not provide any upgrades in that area. Well, I always thought, Ron, that the line was Sweeney Road, correct? The city would take everything west of Sweeney Road railroad tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And then from Sweeney Road to the east was the townships. And that's why the county has been working on a sewer treatment plant for 12 years or longer to service that area.
That was what the city of Delaware's plan was.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
But that did not have, as I understand it, any input from any townships at the time.
No, that was just where they wanted to go. I do believe it was Sweeney Road. That's been some years ago. And that's what they could service.
Did they consult, do you guys recall them ever consulting any board with regard to their comprehensive plan and what they envisioned for growth?
Their plan originally was to go to the lake. Okay, for everything, this area here and all of that. And then they figured out that it was expensive because of the lay of the land to get into that area. So they've cut it back to that smaller area. And that area of the township has been building up pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we now have TIF'd that entire area over 35 properties. The residential parcels that we put through, I don't know if you guys saw the final determination. This is not inclusive of all the parcels we put through, but the residential ones were excluded. That said, the ag ones, which makes up the bulk of that area, were included. It's a 75% 10-year, and it does potentially provide us with a funding source should that area be developed, because we would have the first right of refusal even in the annexation. The end goal to me is not necessarily to enact a TIF for 10 years, but to explore the other options. And so I wanted to get a general consensus of the appetite, and I would never enter into any agreements or discuss anything beyond what we would bring back to the board. But before I have these conversations, is something like a CETA, is something like a JED, is something like using some of our economic development tools available to us to, as a negotiation platform, something that we should be open to as a board at this time.
I think you're gonna have to use every tool in your toolbox. And if that's a tool that you can use, absolutely. Because townships are at disadvantage when it comes to annexation. We just do not have the tools to fight it as they can aggressively pursue it. One thing I'm a little mystified by is the county. The county spent a tremendous amount of money putting a sewer line up Black Ewell State Road and building a sewer treatment plant. We spent a tremendous amount of money on that. If that land was to be serviced by someone else, that has an economic hardship on the Delaware County in the sewer district. So I'd be interested to know what their plans are and their cost of investment, and where they, because I know they plan to utilize that area with the new sewer treatment plant.
The county, I had a brief conversation with the county. It was in respect to Buckeye Swim Club initially, and I followed up, and they did mention that if the city of Delaware conceded certain areas, if they gave up that right, that they could potentially service some of that area to the east, to the west of the railroad tracks. So it's not, my point here is it's not a problem of capacity, right? Because the county could service at least a good portion of that area. My major interest in particularly a CETA agreement would be that maybe we could come to an understanding about which parcels would get annexed, but the parcels that are closest to the railroad track would be retained in the township. And that we could have as part of that potentially even a development of like a CETA with an NCA agreement to be able to make the city, the schools, and the township whole. And I think that, I don't know what those numbers look like. I just wanted to bring it before you gentlemen tonight so that we can have this understanding, because I would like to have you guys' consensus of approval to engage in some of these conversations with the board's support.
Don't forget Delco spent a lot of water too, a lot of money too. Putting a water tower in and running a large, really large water line up there.
Yeah, they're getting ready to run a new main with the tower is up.
Right.
And there's been a lot of planning, I think, through the township, the county, Delco Water, the entities to serve that area. And I realize the landowner's rights to annex, but something has to be worked out.
Well, and I really appreciate property owners' rights. In the case of at least 3 instances, the property owners have expressly stated that they would like to remain in the township and are being compelled to annex in order to have water and sewer provided. And that is not a genuine property owner desire. And that is a disingenuous investment, in my personal opinion. And so what I'm interested in is, okay, a property owner does want to annex. Why do they want to annex? And could we incentivize that property owner to not annex while also, negotiating certain parameters under which, because we can't pool income tax. We'd have to engage with the city to pool income tax anyway. But if we could create a JED in which the city of Delaware gets all revenue without any infrastructure, improvements necessary, is that not better for them as well? So I agree with you about property owners. I don't think that we're playing a fair game here. And I want to be clear about it, and I want us to try to figure out what we can do together to build something for those future residents who are going to be taxed and taxed and taxed, and have different components and have different infrastructure agreements and have different support services, and really try to make it a smooth area for them.
Did the city indicate why they think they needed the growth?
No, not yet. I haven't had the occasion to speak with them. I'm very curious to hear. I've only heard that they don't all have the same perspective. So I'm sure, just like with our board, there's nuances to each one's perspective. But I also know that from the time of that comp plan for Delaware was created to now, there has been a vast amount of change in terms of their funding, their support, the income tax levies failing, different challenges that they've had that maybe, and we also have gotten more knowledgeable about the tools we have available to us to join in an interesting partnership opportunity.
Because one of the difficult things in the room is the school funding. And people don't think it's relative to this, but it is.
Yeah, very much so.
Yes, it is. And when just because, and it's annexed by the city of Delaware, and if the densities are different or the businesses are different, there's more kids in the Olentangy School District, which everybody's taxes go up. There is a school funding problem, for sure. But
Well, the city has also been annexing and then creating an NCA that is to the deficit of the schools.
it's a problem. So I mean, that's a big discussion. That is a huge discussion, and I understand where everyone's coming from, but it's going to be that's a big negotiation as to what's. I'm not going to even use the word fair, because I don't know if there is a fair and equitable solution for it.
Good points. Any further thoughts on this?
No, there was never any annexation agreement with the township. And the board, to my knowledge, never was involved in negotiations with the city.
I heard that the board was talking about an annexation agreement with the city, and that very specifically an individual came in and undermined that discussion and got the agreement with the city, and then the city stopped those discussions. That's what I heard, but I wanted to confirm and verify so that, as I go in and chat, I heard Trustee Flaherty at the time specifically was having some conversations. Whether or not that was the will of the board at the time, or whether Mr. Flaherty was just having some conversations, that I don't know, but we had that big map, which I think we just recently got rid of, and now I kind of want to look at it again, of that, potential annexation agreement with the city, and it's been 10 years almost now since that occurred, and we're both in very different positions, the city and the township, so it doesn't sound like the board ever had real discussion about it. Let's just put it this way, it doesn't sound like either of us have engaged in a comprehensive land use planning process that included either entity's side of perspective.
Not to my knowledge.
So there could also be opportunity for us to engage in that process as well and see what's going on in terms of that mutual overlapping area. Because it would require if we were to change the zoning in our area, it would require us to update our comprehensive land use plan too.
And I believe it can be done. I believe that the city of Delaware is, I believe that you can work with them and you can come to something that's everybody could live with. It's just, I still worry about the county's involvement. What their opinion is with the money that they've spent, and what their goal is, and what Delco Water's investment and its goal has been. So it would have to involve all entities and jurisdictions.
So are you gentlemen okay with me having these conversations with the city?
Well, I think it has to start somewhere, so you might as well start.
Okay. I'll continue to report back. Great. Okay, any other discussion related to annexation at this time?
What Trustee Paycock was talking about is the township has virtually no cards to play.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
But
It's just, it's like playing cards with both hands behind our
what we
back.
have with the county and the JUD and that sort of stuff is the tools that we have.
Mhm.
And we've worked with the county to work to use the financial authority
Yeah, DCFA.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And try to come up with some things that would work for the townships.
I would be real surprised, I'd have to look at their engineering on that, but I'd be real surprised how much capacity they actually had for sewer and water in that area.
Well, the sewer is a fairly large pressure line, so it's when the tank fills up, they pump it out. As long as there's, the tank isn't full, I mean,
They can only process so much though at the sewer plant. I don't know the city's numbers. I would just be,
in the city.
I would just like to have that information of what their capacities are. The reason I say that is because I know that the county has capacity.
Yeah, the county has a lot of capacity.
And I believe if we had a pathway for that sewer line that was put in there to get to certain areas, I think we would have some commercial people applying for zoning. But the problem is getting that sewer line to the other side of the Berlin Business Park.
If the pumping station was close to the railroad tracks,
Yes,
it would have made a huge difference.
you are correct. And one of the things that I think we're going to see, and I've wondered, if Olentangy Schools decides to build on that property on Curve Road, what their thought is for getting sewer to that site.
One thing the city, or the county, the school doesn't like is if that area gets annexed, then suddenly all teachers pay city income tax. And so they would like to stay in the township just for the teachers and everybody at the school's benefit.
Excellent discussion, gentlemen. Thank you, and I think that we have more in common with the city in that area than differences, so I'm optimistic about exploring a whole host of issues. The council members that I have reached out to recently have been very happy to discuss, so we'll continue that discussion.
I think we're on the right track.
Excellent, excellent. OTA attendance. I have this on here. We have the conference coming up. Do you know if you would like to attend the OTA conference? Do you know about it?
I don't know about
Okay. This is the state level conference each year. I believe it's February 1st. Is that right, Administrator?
I think so.
And we
It's
typically
second to the fourth.
second to the fourth, yeah. We typically approve the board at that time, and then any employees that do want to attend who are full-time. Do you know if Director Peden, Chief, or...
He would like to attend.
Okay.
Chief is presenting, so I know he will be there.
I thought he was, yeah.
Yeah,
that'd
so
be
I
great.
know he will be there at a minimum.
So I'd like to appropriate the monies for that now, as well as the food for the day, because we can do the reimbursement for the food and parking. I think we do that usually for the parking.
I have not attended. I haven't attended in a very long time, so.
So do we know how much it costs?
I can get that.
First of all, where's it at?
It's always at the convention center.
Still at the convention?
Still at the convention center. Bigger and better than ever.
It's a really good event.
It's a phenomenal event. It's all things township.
Yeah.
It's good vibes.
Haven't been there for years, but they have everything.
They
Go
do
to
have
Short
everything.
North.
Insurance,
To eat.
truck parts, no
Did you go to Short North to eat?
Yeah.
Let me look.
I think,
And last year I attended for the first time their casino night, which which was
Oh,
quite a hoot. Yeah,
is
never attended that.
It is, in fact, it's the 4th to the 6th. I thought
4th
it
to the
was
6th.
In February this year?
February, yeah, they took it out a week.
pre-registration.
Trustee-elect Sutton, I mean, that's a must for you.
I really agree.
The only question is travel, but yeah, you should definitely. It was like being hit with a fire hose of township information.
Yeah.
And now they have the recordings available, so you can kind of go back and watch.
For OTA members, it is $135 each.
135, and we have definitely Peden. Would you like to attend this year, Trustee Bullard?
I was planning on attending.
Okay. Bullard. I need some number crunchers here. Rail, Sutton.
Jesse will wanna go.
Got him. Chief.
Which I'm not sure yet. We'll go ahead and count
Yeah.
his, but he may be comped as a representative.
Maybe.
Yeah, he was.
They're very stingy with that.
He was.
they want that enrollment money.
He was
That's
going to
crazy.
check it out.
Okay, we'll just allocate for him regardless. Yourself, Administrator Hale?
Yeah.
Fiscal office, anybody?
Somebody from the fiscal office will attend.
At least one person?
Yeah.
Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anybody else that we know of?
I'm not aware at this time.
I don't know if the fire chief wants to go or not.
Assistant Chief Majors may wish to
Oh,
attend.
yes. We'll do that for him as well. So we have 8 times 135.
1,080.
Oh.
Wants to make it not to exceed 2,000. And I'm being optimistic, maybe we could get a zoning inspector that would like to go, or any of that sort of stuff. Look for,
That's great.
that time.
Yeah, that's fine.
That would include parking reimbursement, and that should.
Yes, do you guys, we like to do food separately though, for some reason, right?
Food's on your own kind of thing.
No, food's reimbursed at,
Up to a certain rate a day.
And
Yeah.
mileage.
It's usually a certain rate a day, that's what
We have
most places.
set it for other conferences for staff, we have set it at 50 a day.
50, whoa, I was gonna get a steak there this year.
Food is expensive.
It probably will, it costs about a 3-ouncer. Okay, so then food at 50, and then reimbursement for gas mileage, right?
Unless taking a township vehicle.
Unless taking a township vehicle, okay. So that brings us to, what's the 50 times 8, that's 400? Okay, so 400, then 1,500, then reimbursement, yeah, 2,000. So can I put the food in the same motion as,
Is there a reason that we can't?
That's fine.
okay, move to appropriate funds in the amount not to exceed $2,000 for the purposes of attendance at the OTA conference, with that same amount including the $50 a day food reimbursement, as well as reimbursement for gas mileage if not taking a township vehicle.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion.
What's the question? Are you not paying for parking?
I think they said parking.
I didn't say parking.
That's $10 to $15 a day.
I think it's like 20 now.
Is it not that much?
Oh,
I didn't know
really?
last
I
year.
think it is. I think I paid $20 a day last year. I parked at the Hilton.
Well, I think if you park down below, it's not
Yeah,
that
they have
much.
parking garages.
Yeah.
So I screwed that one
Yeah.
up.
I don't
Well, it's a good thing
remember what
that
I
the township
paid,
didn't
though.
reimburse me for that
I
one.
don't remember what I paid.
I don't
2
think
years
the
ago.
township reimbursed last year for parking. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but
No,
I
just
don't remember.
ask them the question.
yeah.
I was thinking like $7?
I was
or-
thinking like $7 for the day.
No way.
That's what I was
If
thinking.
you park-
Park and go down, or however you say that street, that's where I always park.
Yeah, right there by the convention center,
Mhm.
walk up the.
Yeah.
$7?
Yeah.
I thought
I
so.
paid at least that last year and I wasn't attending.
Um,
I was only there for an
really?
hour and a half.
Friendly amendment to make to $2,500 and include parking in the same motion. Is that acceptable? Thank you. So amended. Thank you for that. Okay, any further discussion? So we got the minutes, the food, the parking. Now, I will say that Orange Township last year did reimburse for casino night, but I am keeping that request off of the docket and will be paying for
I
that.
talked about that.
Any further discussion? Please call roll.
Did we have a second on that?
Yes, Trustee Bullard.
Thank you. Trustee Paycock,
Yes.
trustee Bullard,
Yes,
trustee Trail.
Yes. Okay, and that brings us to the TIFs, JEDs, and CRAs, which we have already discussed as a portion supplemental to annexation. And we have consensus that we'll be engaging the City of Delaware. I do look forward to learning more about them as well, and really hopeful for, at least if nothing else, a better understanding and discussion. And that brings us to old business. Do we have any old business items to address? That brings us to future meetings. Do we have any future meetings to discuss? I have Parks and Trails on Wednesday, which I'll be a little bit late to.
I do not. It's been canceled.
Oh,
Put on the website, it's canceled.
oh,
It was just, I think, Friday that happened.
oh. Okay.
I don't think the chair has sent out that email yet.
Do we know why it was canceled?
I do not. I know that Cindy reached out to say, hey, do you have your agenda ready for the meeting? And she was told, go ahead and cancel it. So.
Tonight's meeting?
Parks and
Wednesday.
Trails.
Parks and Trails, sorry.
Yeah, because on Sunday at 7 p.m. I got the meeting minutes to approve on Wednesday from the secretary, so.
Well, there might be
A
I will have her
miscommunication.
verify, but
Well, and I did not receive the agenda, which I usually have from the president by this point in time. And this is their planning meeting as well, so. Okay, well, I don't have Parks and Trails on Wednesday. Maybe I'll reach out and see, okay.
I can also have her I'll verify in the morning, but I
Why
specifically.
don't you have her verify?
I specifically asked about it because I saw it pop up on the calendar as canceled, and I said, hold on a second. She said, yeah, I just reached out to them to get the agenda to upload, and they said we weren't having it. So I said, okay.
Okay. All right, well, if she's verified, she's verified. Okay, any other future meetings?
Morpsey on the 13th.
Morpsey on the 13th for Trustee Bullard. I'll have DCTA on the 20th for DCTA.
And there's a district meeting for OPWC, I believe on the 20. I'm not sure the date,
Okay.
but there is a meeting this month for
Okay.
OPWC.
Great.
And I
Excellent.
don't think there's any DKML meeting this month.
There are no DCTA meetings either this month. There will be a big meeting, holiday party in December. That'll be fun. I hope you can attend. Any other items for future meetings? Okay, late items. Any late items? What? No late items. We've covered it. Wow, look at us, guys. Okay.
And the next matter will relate to compensation.
The next matter will relate to compensation.
Yes.
Okay. Executive session on personnel matters. Gentlemen, historically, we have, at least this happened with me, we've had, if the trustee-elect is in attendance, we've had them join in executive sessions prior to being sworn in, but we have asked of the trustee-elect, including myself, that they not participate in any of the conversation in executive session. This, I think, is a good advantage for the trustee-elect to be aware of issues without having to muddle with any unnecessary discussion or concerns. If you all are amenable to this continuing, I'm happy to, or we can just continue to have the compensation meeting with the standard attendees. Is there a will of the board on this matter?
Personnel matters.
Yeah, we could also differentiate by particular types of matters too.
Would you like to make the motion?
Well, I would like to know who I should ask to be included in that motion.
I will yield to the
Okay.
chairperson.
Okay, do you have any will?
I just seem to remember a conversation with the prosecutor that trustee-elects aren't supposed to be in executive sessions. I just, it's a,
Well then, was that because I was in the executive sessions as trustee-elect?
I don't remember the conversation, it's too long ago.
Okay, then why don't we get, could we chat with the prosecutor's office to see if we can include trustee-elects in our executive session with the same parameters that we had in place last time, which was they can observe but not participate during that time in which they are elect. Thank you. I didn't know, I wasn't aware that there was an issue.
Can you phrase the question, we're gonna do it, and does that create a problem? As opposed to can I do it?
What about is trustee-elect Sutton, is he covered under the insurance policy?
He is not.
He is not covered under the insurance policy, so I would hate that he would take.
That's why he doesn't participate. He's only an observer in the executive session.
He could observe something that
Theoretically, anybody could.
that he could take out to the public and something happened.
Not that he would, but anybody in
Yes.
that position.
And could
Yes.
put the blame on him and then he'd not be on the insurance policy.
Fair enough. So let's just ask the prosecutor.
ChatGPT says you're allowed to.
Huh?
ChatGPT says you're allowed to.
I thought we were, but I do appreciate both of these points. So let's verify and confirm there's no liability issue.
Just looking out for you.
And if there isn't, I would like to ensure that moving forward, all trustee-elects are part of that observation.
From a legal standpoint, you're not trustee-elect until the Board of Elections meets, certifies the election. Even though you got the highest count.
Very good. Well, I got the highest count.
You know what I mean?
But I got the highest count.
But what I'm saying is that, to me, it's obvious, but it's, until they certify it, that's when it becomes legal.
Let's just ask if there's a problem from the prosecutor's office and liability. I don't want to cause any trouble, but I want you to be included. That's
Oh, yeah, that's,
okay, very good. So move to recess into executive session from regular session pursuant to ORC 121.22 G1 to consider the compensation of a employee of public official.
second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rayo?
Yes. All right, we're in executive session. our whole meeting except for this.
Right, well, just kick me out. You're
Oh,
going, you're
you're
good.
Yeah, I was getting to motion for you, not get up there.
We're gonna have to balance my laptop successfully on my lap.
I love you.
Like to make motion?
Ready?
Yeah.
Is this good? Yeah, we're on.
Like to make a motion to return to regular session from executive session, so moved.
Second, moved by trustee Bullard, seconded by the chair. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee, Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Thank you. We have returned to regular session from executive session and no actions were taken and no decisions were made. There is furthermore no other items to discuss with the board at this time. So we will turn to the 7:30 p.m. time certain hearing application for modification of OCPUD 24-001 Lost in the Woods. As a matter of protocol, the applicant should present a very brief summary of their application. At that time, you will receive comments and questions from the board members. And after that, we will turn to those in favor, providing any testimony if there is any testimony to provide, and then those who are opposed, providing any testimony if there's testimony to provide. And following that, the board may have any follow-up questions before we end up discussing the next steps with the applicant. Is everyone okay with that order of proceedings? So ordered. All right. Welcome, gentlemen. If you could come for your presentation, we have the microphone above the lectern here. And please, before you start into your presentation, state your name and address for the record.
Floor, yeah. I'll go first and then let you do it. Yeah, Christopher Sill, address is 5175 Cheshire Road, Galena, Ohio, 43021. It's the address of the property that we'll be discussing here.
My name is Mark Surfer. I am the architect, and I live at 1815 Old Shade Court in Columbus, Ohio. And we're presenting this as the new construction with the removal of the existing house.
Thank you. Take it away.
So originally when we were here, the trustees had approved us to take the property and basically put the bike shop on the property. When we went through all the paperwork and everything else, you know, we talked about the fact that we were going to open up the shop in the existing structure to start with, and that we would, you know, we guaranteed everybody we would take that structure down, put up a new building, better for the township. So that's basically what is in front of you now. The plan is, business has been running for about 1.5 years now, and it's starting to build, and it's a time where we absolutely need to have some more space. So the plans in front of you are for us to put up a new structure. It is about 3,300 square feet, 2,500 square feet on the first floor, 800 square feet up on the second floor. Very simple building, but will give us enough space to run the bike shop out of it. One other thing too that I don't know if everyone saw it on the ballot, but we did apply for a liquor license. The property was dry. The voters did on this last election voted to be wet. So it's my understanding that you'll get a notification that'll come by from the state that'll say, you know, is anybody opposed to that? Hopefully we have no issues with that. So the new building, the proposal is to have bike shop, rental bikes in there, and then also a small tavern that would sell beer and wine that, you know, the community could come out, ride the bikes, go through the property and, you know, sit back and, you know, have a drink in there. So any questions on the plans? But it's pretty, a lot of it is really simple. The landscape plan is very simple. We really want to keep the property as is, keep all the existing trees that we can. So the idea is to leave as much plant, vegetation, everything as is on that property with a small landscape plan that we'll put in place. The one other thing too, just to call out, is there is an easement that goes through that property. We worked with the Army Corps of Engineers. The Army Corps of Engineers gave us approval to go ahead and do construction in that easement. We've got the letters and all the paperwork for the Army Corps of Engineers to go ahead and do that. Other than that, I think it's a pretty simple project to remove the existing structure and put this one up.
Is that your presentation? Okay.
Unless you want to add something.
Not really. It's basically the outside of the building is going to be metal panels, and the interior is going to be post and truss construction, heavy timber, with the rest of the construction for the most part is going to be simple wood framing that's associated with both the floor as well as the wall structure. So it shouldn't create too much trouble during the construction phase. The reason why the building is located where it is due to the fact of that easement, as Christopher said, we couldn't place the building any further away from the road, which is what we would have liked to have done, but the building is touching almost the right-of-way or the easement that the Corps of Engineers has along the back portion of the building. The back portion of the lot goes down, and it's going to be a retaining for if Allen Creek ever comes to a level where it has to overflow its banks. That is the area that, one of the areas that water will be extending out to.
So that is the easement that is in place.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not actually building that easement?
No.
Facility, you're in front of it, okay. 'Cause I heard that a little different when it was presented. So that is their backup water area.
So if you look at the plans, there's parking lot, gravel parking lot that goes into the easement. So we had to get approval to do any kind of construction within that easement at all.
This building, as it's presented, that you have, does it meet the code for liquor license as it's drawn here?
There should be more than enough exits.
Okay, so you have the egress. I'm not seeing it in the refreshment counter. I'm not seeing it. I thought you had to have a 3-compartment sink and hand washing. I don't see any of that listed.
Until we got the liquor license per se, there was no development in that specific area for the various types of sinks and other types of appliances that they now will be able to kind of determine how they want to organize the bar area.
So we know what has to go in there. The liquor department, their inspector came out with the existing building, and the stipulations were we had to have 2 bathrooms. And then with that, we had to either have a 3-compartment sink or a dishwasher that would wash the dishes with, I was going to say it was within 90 seconds or something like that. So we know what we need to do to put into the building.
The interesting thing is the requirements that the state and the building code, also the health department will be adjusting the drawings to meet those requirements. But what we wanted to do was make sure that first the liquor license was obtainable and then fine tune the drawings. So once the building's under construction, we'll fine tune the bar area.
But you do plan to stay in this square footage?
Yes, it's only going to be 2,400 square feet. It's 40 by 60. We can't go any larger because it interferes with the amount of space on the site for parking, as well as the encroachment that would be going into the Corps of Engineers water area.
Could you give me that calculation again? It's 2,500 square feet?
Well, it's 2,400 square feet, 40
And
by
then
60.
1,800, or 800 on the second floor?
That's correct. And then there's a lower level that's approximately 2,400 square feet also.
So it's 3,200 square feet.
The lower levels, it's gonna be a basement that it'll be concrete block because if the flowage easements are used, the water will come into that basement. So it's gonna be
That's not
concrete
really
block,
nice
yeah, to have
carpet.
rental bikes and, you know, that we can wash off and do things, but that'll be it in there, so.
Sure. Okay, thank you, Amanda, for the presentation. We'll now turn it over to questions and comments from the board. Trustee Paycoff, do you want to continue to expand on your questioning?
Actually, architecturally, when you drew this, what are we looking at? Is it supposed to be a barn? Is it?
Well, originally, that's what Chris wanted, was a pole barn. And as the project evolved, it turned into more where he was interested in using a timber style construction for the trusses, as well as posts. Posts will be 8 by 6 or 8 by 10 rough oak, and then in between would be the 2 by 6 exterior construction with metal panels on the outside, drywall on the inside.
Okay, so your girths and your purlins, are those, your roof system, is that just I'm gonna say it's just a truss roof?
Yes, the main structure is truss, then what's spanning in between the trusses will be a SIP, which is structural insulated panels. On top of that, and anchor down to each one of the girder trusses.
And your roof panels, I see pre-finished metal roof panels. I wasn't able to see any detail. Is it a hidden fastener?
It is a standing seam.
So it is hidden fastener.
Yes.
But the exterior walls?
Those are going to be probably exposed fasteners.
Exposed fasteners, okay. And was there any thought about that, the roof? You only have a 4/12 pitch. Was there any thought about increasing the pitch on that roof to a 5 or a 6?
The
To make
reason
it
why,
more look like a barn?
well, the reason why it's low is because of the potential of snow and ice, and trying to minimize the potential of it sliding off the building with access to the sides of the building, trying to minimize any potential hazard to potential customers and other individuals on the ground.
I assume you're gonna put some ice guard on it anyway.
Yes.
I don't see it, but.
Yes, there's ice guards on
And I see some shed roofs on here that you have. They're the same pitch, and I see a rear that is a 2/12.
Yes, that's over the deck itself.
312 is typically the bottom end of shingles.
With metal, it can be a little bit lower.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this, trying to understand what I'm looking at. It looks like you're trying to look like a barn.
Correct.
Maybe cupolas or something.
Okay.
I mean, something to bring it into its own life. Even a barn flies at the end. I don't know if it's the barn look, which I think it is, right?
It would be a contemporary.
Contemporary.
Right.
That's actually really good feedback from an aesthetic perspective, especially
It just
because the pitch. The pitch is.
It looks, I just remember historic Cheshire, and there was an old barn there, and that barn was a red barn, and it had probably, it probably had an 8 or probably 9, 12 pitch roof on it that sat over there. Trustee Bullard, I don't know if you remember the barn years ago, that was there. But when I looked at this, I just thought it would be pretty cool if that thing kind of resembled what used to be in the old village of Cheshire. That was some of the things that were there. Cost-wise, it's not a lot of money to put a little gingerbread on this building and make it look great. I mean, it looks. I'm not saying it looks bad by any means, but just a little bit could really make this thing look great.
Has the applicant given any further consideration to Trustee Pakoff's feedback in terms of not only the pitch, but also with terms of features that might be added to enhance the barn design aesthetic?
Well, with mini barns, they're also very plain in overall appearance also. So, depending on the utilitarian type of uses, and depending on the amount of money that the farmer or the property owner actually was going to invest into his barn or their barn, depends on basically how much ornamentation actually was a part of it. Now, we can study the 6 to 12, but I'm just as concerned about even with snow guards, and depending on how the ice and snow, as we can see today, may have an effect on trying to maintain safety within and around the building itself. So the lower the slope, the less likely the snow and the ice will happen to slide off and create potential hazards to.
Yeah, I've heard it rumble off of buildings. It's a very small building. I mean,
Yes.
You're not talking any substantial numbers here.
Well, but the height is a little bit on the high side.
What do you have to say about that? In terms of the pitch, do you feel like there's a safety issue due to the 6 to 12?
No, I would make some changes. I mean, have ice guard on it regardless. Usually when that comes off, it comes off. That's a hidden fastener roof. It's not going to stay on there long anyway. Most of that slides off pretty. Sun comes out and it goes down. So I understand what you're saying. I'm just looking out for what a barn in old Cheshire used to look like. Right. That's all. And it was a higher pitched roof. And if you read the old history books, it'd be nice to bring some of that history back into the old Cheshire.
It sounds like there's appreciation for the variety based on the uses for looks. Does the applicant have any appetite to reconsider the pitch and or reconsider the features on this specific barn based on barn style building based on the feedback?
You said pitch, I mean, what are we looking at dollar wise?
Probably won't be an excessive amount. It'll be more square footage for
Would be better just to put some features on it.
I prefer trying to keep it as contemporary and overall appearance. The 6 to 12, if that comes down to it, then we rework the roof as well as the lower.
So, I have another comment.
Wait, can I hear an answer? Is the applicant open to those
We're
suggestions?
open to changing the pitch if that's really what.
So my question is, when I look at the window, the assembly, on the building, that assembly in that building isn't a conventional truss. So what was your truss?
The trusses are not on the exterior. They are interior trusses. The exterior walls will be typical wood construction.
Okay, so your window assembly goes up into the truss section if it was a conventional truss.
That's correct.
So you have just a pocket from there to the first truss?
The SIP panels, the structural insulated panels, span from the exterior wall to that first truss.
Okay, so the first truss, so we would see the first truss through the window
Yes.
assembly is what I'm saying.
Yes, it would be 12 feet back.
Okay. So we would be looking into the barn structure, into the
Yes.
truss. Question would be, I mean, if I was, I don't know what your height would, but if you went to a 612 pitch roof and you did a scissor truss, would really open that up there to accommodate the window and the openness of that barn in the second story. And I just, it's just comments for you to think about, because I see what you're saying. So you have conventional framing on the outside, and how far is the first truss?
Let's see.
I
think it's about 12 feet.
So it's 12 feet in.
Right. They're 12 feet on center.
From the side, right? It's not what you see from the street.
It'd be from the side.
From the side, yeah. So that window and opening is actually from the side. That's not facing the street either, just so you got your orientation right.
Yeah. Yes. I'm better with it now that I know that the truss is 12 feet back, because your window, your window unit didn't match a truss unit. The mullion would have been lined up with the truss, and it's not. So I just wondered exactly.
You'll see it through each one of those individual windows that are on the side, but the truss more is a component for once you're inside the building instead of the outside. It's an interplay of exterior to interior. Kind of like when you're out riding in the woods, and you come to an opening in the woods, and then back into the woods itself. So the building tries to interplay with those types of components.
So those trusses, you would just utilize some kind of a paint on them or something that exposed?
From our conversations, I was considering using a stain or some type of clear finish that would enhance the overall wood appearance within the space itself. So it would be also a play of the painted surfaces surrounding it, and it being a more figural type of element within the space itself.
So that wouldn't be a standard yellow pine truss?
It's white oak.
White oak?
Yes, we've already started talking to various suppliers.
well, thank you for that, because you had me lost on staying
Mm-hmm.
yellow pine.
No.
Okay.
We can go, okay. Trustee Bowler?
Yeah, just a few things. The building that's in the floodplain, I'd be careful about tearing that down, because right now it can stay there because it's grandfathered. When you tear it down, it'll be very difficult to put something else up there. So when you tear it down, realize that it's probably gone.
Yeah,
But
the
you could
existing
keep
building's
it.
not in the easement.
If you wanted to keep it or wanted to do some stuff to it, you could probably do something like that at this point with the building there. But that's yours, just a caution.
Yeah.
Okay, second thing is, the liquor license, I believe, passed, and I believe, I'd like to understand a little bit about the operation of that. Specifically, what kind of hours do you see that running, or?
So the hours of the shop are 10:30 to 7:30, or 10:30 to 6:30 each day. Saturday and Sunday, they're from 10 to 4, so they would operate within those hours.
So it would be open late or not?
No.
Not late at all?
No.
Okay, do you plan on having music or any of that sort of stuff? Because we've had problems with noise from outside bands and that sort of thing over the years.
So we've been doing them now, so if you haven't heard any complaints, it would be the same. You know, Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings, we have community group rides, and there's music that goes out on the net that, you know, we keep down, we don't blast any. You know, there's gonna be no bands or anything like that.
My vision of it is it's kind of like a 19th hole at a golf course.
Right,
That's exactly, yeah.
I
what it's
mean, you
meant to
can give
be.
it some other name, but that's basically what it is.
on the drawings, it's called a gathering area.
Yeah, and everything would be consumed on site, or are you looking at it being a carry-out too?
So when we applied for it, it came with the carry-out too. I'll be honest with you, we haven't gone down that road. I'm assuming that almost everything would be consumed on site, but yeah, I guess carry-out could be an option if, you know, we decided to do that down the road.
That was just more for curiosity than anything. Parking wise, I expect that may be a gathering place, and the number of spaces you've got is more than what's required, and I think that's probably necessary. In the long run, what about any excess parking, or is there any way to limit it, or?
So we've been pretty fortunate with the mountain bike riders, you know, with our limited space right now. If there's overflow parking, people go up and park at the P2 trailhead, and then they head over from there.
Okay, what I was trying to understand is if it's another bar opening up or not. And
No, that's not
I
the
don't think that's
intention.
what your intention is at all.
Correct.
Okay. Access for trucks. You're gonna have deliveries there. Those entrances are large for a car, but are they big enough for delivery trucks, such as beverage trucks or trucks hauling bicycles or trucks bringing in material to be sold or taking stuff away? Because that's a busy road that's going to get a lot busier as time goes on. And I know the county's got, and the thoroughfare plan calls for that being a 4-lane road. So it would be wider and would probably come your way, some go to the south, some same kind of thing. So that will move your signs closer to the road in the long run. It isn't there now, but that will happen sometime in the future. But coming back to the truck access, I'd like to be able to get the trucks off the road to be able to make sure traffic flows, just keep the traffic flowing and all that sort of stuff. Are you anticipating that or not?
So
Did you anticipate that in the way you laid out the traffic flow? Because it looks a little tight to me for putting in the big trucks.
So there won't be any large semis coming in. So right now, with the bicycle delivery trucks and those trucks, they generally come UPS or FedEx. So it's gonna be the same type of vehicles. There aren't gonna be any large trucks. So the space that should be on there as you pull off the street has been adequate with any of the trucks that we've had coming in and out.
Okay. If it becomes a problem, is there any way to alleviate it?
So if we look at the plans, what we'd have to do is bring the trucks, down the entrance. If you look to the side of the building, that driveway goes down, the parking lot goes down into the easement. We'd have to use that.
What I mean is, that assuming we approve this, we come back and at a later date to be able to handle the larger trucks that we need to get in there, I would think. And,
At the front of the parking lot, that could probably be enlarged, necessary to take into account the frequency and the sizes of a little bit larger delivery trucks.
Does that address your?
what I'm thinking is if they can't get off the road, maybe we gotta adjust it sometime later in the future. Based on, to be able to get the trucks off the road. And I know UPS and FedEx and those people, guys like to park, hop out, run in, deliver the package and keep going. But the guy that's delivering material or food or anything else, those people drive big equipment too. And want to get those trucks off the road. That's about all I had.
I do have another question, I should say. Was wainscoting on the bottom not considered at least on the front elevation of this building? The reason I say that, those look like solid panels, so if that panel gets beat up on the bottom by a bicycle or somebody, how do you fix it?
Most of it has landscaping in front of it. The only areas that has metal panels would be in front, right underneath the windows themselves. Trying to keep so that circulation or major circulation is away from the metal panels. Yes, aware of the issue with maintenance for metal structures.
Does that satisfy your question?
Yeah, it does. I'm hearing you. I just think that could look so much better if it had just a little bit of gingerbread on this building, that would be cost effective to do it. It's such a small building. It still reminds me of the old buildings, the barns that used to be there. But I'd be willing to hear.
Sounds like the applicant is willing to address that concern.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the pitch,
Pitch and possibly barn features.
Well, we'll study it, but the interesting thing is the barn is one type of application,
and this is
agricultural, and then this is trying to be a little bit more contemporary, and of course, off-road bicycling is a character in itself.
And I'm thinking about the village in itself and the history of the village, and that's where we're colliding a little bit here. I'm not preserve the history, and the rural flavor of the township. And if I do that and I look at the village of Cheshire, it tells me that it deserves a higher pitched roof, and it needs just a little bit of tweaking, and it fits in with the old village of Cheshire.
Okay.
That's my comment.
I agree.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand I've been here my entire life and grew up there, and I know what it used to look like. I know what the buildings used to look like. I know what the flavor of that whole thing should look like. And we've gotten a little bit off beaten path, but that doesn't mean we have to do it again. And that's such a small building, and it could look really nice, and just with a little bit more pitch on the roof and just a little bit of gingerbread on that thing, and I think it could be fantastic.
Well, and you make a great point about that whole area. You have just to the east of you guys, the Shire, and they imported a wood barn and refurbished a whole wood barn, and that pitch is a little bit more substantial on that. And it's a real great opportunity in that area because the use is fantastic, right? Historic Cheshire community use. And this is a great opportunity, I think, to incorporate some of the historical elements from our township into the life and the future of your guys' business as well. I think that's what you're speaking to.
Absolutely, and I think it's.
But it also ties in with
I'm not
what
trying
you're.
to work against you, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, it also ties in with what your neighbors have also committed to who have come in here. So when you start to think about who you are in relation to, and I see, a number of different businesses that you no doubt are good neighbors with as well. I think that's the aesthetic that we would like to see carried through for the entirety of that area.
New and existing. I would like to work on the existing buildings.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Cheshire Market will be getting addressed pretty systemically here in the next year. I'm sure you guys are aware about the Cheshire roundabout being put in. And I'm sorry, do you have anything else?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You're doing great.
Thank you. So the idea here for me is what the intent of this area was, and I don't have any problem with the uses. I think congratulations on getting your liquor license approved. I do think that we need to make certain you are adhering to the noise ordinances of the township, which we've never heard I haven't heard any complaints yet. Maybe Administrator Hale has, but you guys seem like you're doing really good work and being great neighbors. I think that for me, there's just a few items here that I'd like to see addressed. One, I just want to confirm the color scheme of the exterior of the building specifically, because those natural tones and we have natural wood, we have a few things. Is this actually like a lighter gray and then a medium gray? Is that what you guys?
So if you look on your sheet.
This one.
Yep. Your sheet on there. It's and we did it kind of so the Cheshire property that's down the street, it's going to be within those similar colors.
Which property?
Hurry's property.
Oh, Hurry's.
Yeah.
The Shire.
Yep. So the walls are going to be the Spartan bronze. And then the roof will be the weathered zinc.
Probably need glasses at this point. Okay, so that looks like almost like is it fair to say blackish, the Spartan bronze?
Yeah, the Spartan bronze is going to be more of a brownish with.
It's a grayish brown.
It's gray brown.
It's kind of like a smoke.
But it's dark, this one?
Yeah.
Is this the right one?
It does have a little bit of the character of what weathered board bed.
Okay, so it will have
It will
some
have
texture.
a character, yeah, it has texture to it. And it will have a kind of appearance of what a weathered barn would have on the exterior, but not in a wood construction.
I see.
So it would have that type of character.
So it has a textured finish on that.
Yes,
it's
here,
not
this
quite-
looks much better than, or I can see it better.
Yes.
And then the weathered zincs, it's that weathered light gray, that looks on the top that, is very similar to what's down the road from us.
Okay, good, thanks for taking that into consideration. So what's the material of the driveway and parking area?
It'll be asphalt.
All of it is asphalt?
Asphalt's out the
Yeah.
front, and then it's gonna be the gravel that goes in the back, because last time we were here, the township wanted the asphalt out front.
Can you identify the transition point of when you're going to move from asphalt to gravel?
Back in this area.
Right about here. Yeah, so it's behind the building. And there's parking spaces that will be asphalt. Do you have a trail for the front side of this area? Or a sidewalk anticipated here?
There's a sidewalk in front of the building.
Right now? Are you gonna do anything with it? Is there?
All that's going to be removed, the existing sidewalk as well as the building will be removed. Where the existing house happens to be, that's where a portion of the parking lot is, as well as that's also in general proximity of where the dumpster enclosure is in the front.
So, what the plan is for this area is that you have the Cheshire Roundabout going, and we would like to extend the walkability of the area all the way down through Cheshire Road eventually.
Correct.
And so, my question is are you guys putting in a sidewalk, or are you guys putting in a multi-use path in the front of this area? Because I didn't see either one.
I wasn't aware that, of the future extension of a sidewalk, but when that time comes, I would imagine Chris would be more than
Are
happy
you gonna
to
be able
work
to put
with it.
that through the state land?
Yes.
Okay.
The answer is,
So on both sides of the road, it'll go down?
so the initial vision was to have it on your side only. The county has indicated interest in both sides. I don't personally see both sides working out. I only see your side working out because the Shire, as part of their commitment, indicated that if either side builds to their property line, that they would put in a similar component. We haven't resolved whether or not that's sidewalks for your area, the transition to multi-use paths, or just multi-use paths straight through. The Double Eagle golf course,
Correct.
it takes up the vast majority of that area. So I could envision an entire connector being done within the next 4 years because on your side. On the other side, we have a rather substantive issue with property owners and homes, and a few other houses that would make that rather challenging. This board has historically said that they don't have appetite for eminent domain. That would still remain in place, especially on the south side if we have a north side connector. But Cheshire Road, as you know, is one of the main multi-use path arteries identified by both the county, by Morpsey, and through our trails and our Parks and Trails Committee. And the reason for it is because the Ohio to Erie Trail stubs out to Cheshire further down. And so we could have a real opportunity to have Ohio to Erie Trail come all the way through and then potentially connect bike paths straight up to downtown Delaware, right? How cool would that be, especially for your business?
We're trying to get on the Ohio to Erie trail map, so I know.
So that brings us back to this point is, I do want a commitment from you guys to put that in.
Yeah, you can have our commitment.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a bike shop with no bike trail path.
Right. Well, I wasn't gonna express the irony of it, but I can appreciate that you guys weren't aware of that plan, and so now coming back here, I do appreciate that commitment, and that does need to be out of the road right of way. So it looks like to me it's going to, and maintained by you all. So it does look to me like that is going to impact some of your landscaping plan. So you'll want to modify accordingly. And then the other aspect is with the landscaping, was everything compliant with our zoning resolution text in terms of trees, plants, and all that? Do you know? Are you able to?
I would need to look back into that, to be honest.
Do you know if, because some of these, I didn't have the occasion to look up all of them that were included. And I think probably what we would want to do in this case potentially is really look at some of our landscaping plan anyway, because we have some native to Ohio species that may be able to be incorporated into this in other areas that are not in our zoning resolution. But for now, I just want assurance that all landscaping would be compliant with the landscaping permitted in our zoning resolution. Did you guys have the chance to compare these?
No, I did not
Okay.
pull it up, but you would have our commitment if we need
Yeah.
to change anything, you know, we're absolutely fine with that.
I think you will, but how we can phrase this, sorry, just kind of casually looking over it. How we could phrase this would be, applicant request to, incorporate, only those trees and plants that are compliant with our zoning resolution, and compare current plan to resolution, making any modifications as necessary. Because what I don't want to have happen is I don't want to approve the plan tonight and then have you guys come back later and say, but you approved the plan and we had these in the plan. So it must be compliant with the zoning resolution. And if it is, it is. It just didn't, there were some that I hadn't seen before, and, you know, I don't remember everything that we had approved either, so. So it sounds like we have just a couple of additional applicant requests. We have a commitment, commitment might be a strong word. Do we have a commitment to the 6 to 12 pitch?
We'll commit to that, yeah.
Okay, you can make it work and not have to go back to the whole drawing board over again?
Well, you'll go to the drawing board to make those adjustments, but that it is doable. The only one that won't be possible is the one over top of the deck. And the only reason why it's a 2 to 12 is
I'm fine with the shed roof.
Okay.
It's the main structure, it's the main.
Great.
Okay.
No,
The gable
no
roof.
issues there.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate that. So we have that as modification 1.
That will be north of trusses. So
Um,
6 to 12.
Trustee Paycoff, if there's something specific more, we should have it explicit in the modification. So I don't know that I can say, look to add a little more gingerbread, but that's is there something very detailed that you would like to?
Yeah, I mean, we
You
have,
got the pitch?
yeah, we've got the pitch. They're trying to work their architect, and I'm trying to work in old architecture of Cheshire. So we're trying to meet here somewhere with
Yeah, that's exactly.
We're working with
historic buildings that were there before. And I wish we had an opportunity to do that with every building that's ever been built in there.
Right.
But we haven't.
But like you mentioned, a couple barn features. Is there any specific barn feature that you would like to see at this time. Yeah, or any feature that the applicant may want to.
Yes, I mean, I would still like to see the 612 pitch road.
Yeah.
And if
You
you
got
could
that.
incorporate the
Cupola.
one cupola or two,
Cupola.
maybe break it up in thirds to continue that look. So when you come down the road, it's striking as a light barn, a barn structure. Would make me happy and would keep the history.
I think it would look sharp, yeah.
Yes.
I've always been surprised by how much those things make a difference to the aesthetic. It's fascinating.
It makes the buildings pop out. I mean, and it's not a tremendous expense to do them. You can buy them prefab.
Cupola.
Well, the problem with cupola is, it happens to be, I worked on the, what used to be the Guernsey Bank down in, downtown Worthington. And with cupolas, a lot of the prefabricated ones, store-bought ones per se, as I work for an architectural firm, who specialize in traditional architecture, they're never large enough. No matter how large you steel, they're never quite the right scale. And unfortunately, you start getting into cupolas and things like that, it just is creating additional visual components that may not really work with the barn type.
Fair enough. We don't need to require it, but could we get your commitment to look into it with the new pitching as part of a design? That is no commitment.
No commitment, but we'll look into it.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I'll be stopping in at some point and asking how you guys resolved it. How about that?
And I understand that as part of the architecture. Where do you stop? I understand that.
Well, what I'm trying to achieve with the overall design, you're looking at it as a modern rendition of a traditional barn.
Right.
And I could probably bring out a book on barns, and we could go through and find different styles of barns and having various different characters. The cupola for the barn back in its day was to provide an exhaust for the air coming into the barn so that it would cool it during the summertime and provide ventilation within the barn for various factors. It works really well for barn or agricultural type of situation, but in this case, it's going to create an additional challenge structurally, taking into consideration you have this mass on top of the roof, and if it's not located properly, then it has a desire in the wind and various other lateral forces to want to tip over. And if it's not anchored down correctly, then it is going to create headaches that could result in additional problems in the future for the.
Well, I think if anyone sounds like they're best suited to solve those problems, it would be you, sir. So
I've heard a lot of arguments, but.
I think that if you look into it and you guys decide that it is not what's best for safety, of course, that makes sense, but I also would,
We'll look into different.
I would challenge you to find the creative solution with your expertise if you can.
Okay. Well, I will explore different types of barn motifs.
There you go.
And we'll work towards one that's suitable for the location and what we're trying to achieve.
Love it. Thank you. I appreciate that verbal commitment. That won't be obviously included in the modifications. And then the other item that we had was landscaping, and then the other item we had was, the issue of the sidewalk or the multi-use path outside of the road right-of-way. I suppose at this point, we should have some resolution as to,
With the landscaping, would it be possible to get either a website or a
Yeah.
link? in
yes,
order
in our,
to-
yeah.
to,
Have you guys
implement-
worked with Kelsey at all?
We'll get it from Kelsey.
Okay, that'd be perfect. Okay, is there anything else before we turn it over to the audience?
I think we just lost.
Right. Okay, and the sidewalk versus multi-use path. I think we've been saying, generally multi-use path. And if you guys are tearing out that sidewalk anyway.
Yeah, I mean, whatever's coming down the street, we'll put in the same.
Okay.
We have our commitment, we'll do, put in the same.
I think it will either be an 8 or 10 footer. I think it will be 8 right there. 8-foot multi-use path.
Largest tree.
Huh?
Isn't the largest tree in Ohio, like right down in that land?
Except the other
Big
day,
messing with.
Treasury Market, it's on the Corps of Engineers, yeah, this side of the Mississippi.
I didn't hear, I'm sorry.
There's a massive tree right.
Cotton was it?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, oh, the tree,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
of course, yes, the tree.
I can't believe they're letting the multi-use path go through there.
Don't worry, the tree will be preserved.
Okay.
I have assurances from every entity humanly possible that they will not be taking out the tree when they put in that peanut. And then coming up, we are told that the tree shall not be harmed.
Okay.
So, which is great for the tree. Big fan of that tree too, by the way. I actually went out and looked at
Yeah,
it.
so
I
did
hadn't
I,
seen it.
because I just had to go through the woods to take a look at it. But
It's quite impressive. I can.
looks like multiple trees.
Yeah. So.
You don't like it in the springtime.
Appreciate the question.
Terrible.
The tree shall not be harmed in the making of any paths or road solutions. So that's great. And I think that was it, right? We didn't have anything else. Audience for, audience against, closing comments and testimony period. Is there any closing remarks you gentlemen would like to make?
We'll do our best to make sure that we achieve a mutual solution.
Sounds great. Appreciate that. Okay, we need to accept the documents.
We need to write these down.
What are our, she's writing it down.
Okay, so she's got it, and we need to print it.
You can either print it or I can read, it's just a motion, it's not a full resolution. So we can either print this out and one of you can read it, or I can read it and you can say that sounds good or it doesn't sound good and fix it.
I just want to make sure it's all.
Read it out loud. Well, let's
and
read
include
it.
in the file.
Well, we haven't accepted the documents, have we?
No,
I don't know what resolution number we're on or anything like that. That's okay. I'll just motion and,
This isn't a resolution, it's just a motion.
yeah.
So you wouldn't need a number.
We don't need anything like that. Okay. Okay. So we have a few things before us. We have our very large map. We have our folder. We had our advertisement, which is not in this folder, but it was.
it's not that folder.
And then we had another packet provided to us, correct? Or was this it?
What's that?
Didn't we have another packet? or did I get two?
We had one last time, but just to physically accept the application.
Yeah,
And then I think that was included in there.
okay,
And then the advertisement is down there.
okay.
Where I guess that's
Sorry, I have a few logistical things here. Okay. Yeah, this one,
Oh, yeah, that would have been from the first.
all of this, yeah. I just wanted to. Alright, let's go to this.
Might want to just stay down there and then they're all separate. I'm just confused.
Well, this one's from last year,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yellow folder inside is the updated material.
The yellow folder inside is the updated material. So when they were here last year, we accepted this as an exhibit as part of that hearing. So we have this, which no doubt is the same information as this manila. We have this, which is our notice of public hearing, and the same material as well, correct? Yeah. I'm gonna put this in here, and accept this as one exhibit. This one is this one, when was this one dated? Is this one has the final document been changed in any way from this document? Are the small, or is it just a
What was the date on?
What was the original?
Lord. You know how small this is so small.
If that's the original one from a year and a half ago,
There's probably not much,
it would have been,
changed.
there would have been some change.
But if that's what you presented at the prior hearing, then we can just scratch
It
that.
is.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we had already accepted that one as an exhibit then.
yeah, it's the same as what's being proposed for the building itself.
I meant exhibit, Jim. I wasn't sure what exhibit we were on.
Oh,
But I think we're just at one because we're treating this one as a new one.
agreed. Sorry, I
And
didn't
this
catch
one.
that before. Yep, I would just start at one.
Okay. All right, and this big version is exactly the same as the small version in here. Okay. Move to accept as Exhibit 1 the yellow folder with inclusive of advertisement and application, as well as design plans and other letters of approval and notifications. So moved.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bowler. Discussion. So this is the only thing that will be.
Note that later documents take us a later documents.
But this is all one exhibit, so it's the
But if
whole.
there's something dated early and there's something dated later, I haven't read that, but something, you want to make sure that the later dated documents are one.
Are you okay with that friendly amendment?
Yes, I
With
know.
documents dated later taking precedence over documents dated earlier. Okay, there's further discussion, thank you.
That's right, sorry.
Please call roll. Oh, you don't have it. So let's call roll. Trustee Paycoff,
Yes.
Trustee Bowler,
Yes,
Chair, yes. And then move to accept the key blueprints. Ooh,
11/3.
this one's dated 7/22/24. Is this an old one?
Mine's 11/3.
This is the old one. Okay, thank you for doing that. So that's all the old stuff. Thank you. Yours is 11/3.
Yes.
This one's 11/1.
2025.
Okay, we're gonna use this guy. Move to accept as Exhibit 2 the site plan and details dated 11/3/2025. with latter exhibits taking precedence over the former.
Second?
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard. Please call roll.
Trustee Takeoff,
No, you don't have to call roll.
Trustee
I'm
Bullard.
sorry, it's ignorant. Trustee Bullard.
Yes.
Trustee Rep.
Yes.
Chair
Trustee Peacock. Yes. Okay. So we got these now. These are the official documents. So we'll move these over here. Okay. Now we're ready for the motion. If you would like to read it out loud, and then I'll do so moved.
Sounds good. Okay. The motion as proposed is, I move to approve the modification to case OCPUD 24-001 as submitted in the application documents and applicant's presentation, finding that the applicant has made reasonable and diligent efforts toward the accomplishment of the original development plan, and that such modification is not in conflict with the intent and purpose of the OCPUD, with the following conditions. 1. The applicant shall revise the plans to reflect a 612 roof pitch on the main structure. 2. A multi-use path/sidewalk in accordance with the applicable requirements in the Berlin Township zoning resolution shall be required to be constructed along the Cheshire Road frontage at the property owner's cost outside the road right-of-way at such time as a connecting path or sidewalk is proposed to be constructed or is constructed on adjoining property. The landscaping proposed to be installed along the road frontage shall be relocated along the frontage in order to accommodate the location of the multi-use path/sidewalk. 3. The applicant shall incorporate only those trees, plants, and vegetation in compliance with the provisions of the zoning resolution.
They agreed to it somehow.
The applicant requested for that 3, say, and any landscaping that is removed as a result of non-compliance shall be replaced with a compliant of equal or greater value.
So modified, and any landscaping that is removed as a result of non-compliance shall be replaced with compliant vegetation of equal or greater value.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Peacock. Discussion.
I want them to agree to that.
And this is made at the
Because
applicant's
they didn't
request
submit that.
and agreeable
Yep,
to.
we agree.
Okay, so
Okay.
can you add that as a count?
I could, in my opinion.
Just something at the bottom saying that they've agreed to that, the applicant agreed to it in the meeting.
I could. The record is gonna reflect that. So to me, from a legal perspective, that's even better than anything I could write. I mean, the record, you just said it, so I would be satisfied with that, but it's obviously up to the 3 of you.
I just want to make sure that there isn't any question that they agreed to it.
Okay, so is that?
Because it's a submittal from them to the addition to the.
So in the sentence with the modifications, with the following modifications, you could just say with the following modifications made at the applicant's request.
Yep. With the following, I had conditions made at the applicant's request and agreement.
Yeah.
Good.
Friendly
So
amendment,
modified.
friendly modification accepted. Okay, trustee Peacock?
Yes.
Trustee
Yes.
Bullard? Yes, chair. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in.
Now
And
we do the
Yeah,
whole-
thank you. I appreciate your time.
Great.
We'll,
Except
Well,
for
explore the, world of,
no, that's what she just did.
agricultural
We just did.
buildings.
Well, you're halfway there. You're 3/4 of the way there.
The,
Modifications at the request of.
with the
So we can.
color selection that, this is,
This application.
When she
proposing.
read the first portion, The first portion was
Used
approving
for
the
the
application
sign
with those modifications.
Building, it's very
Yeah,
close to
that first
what
paragraph
this
was,
located
yeah.
wood or other wood barn would look like.
Jen, can you email that
So,
to?
I've seen it used.
and
Alright,
so
okay.
color wise
You want it to?
and
Trustees.
the
He wanted to
panels
see the language.
actually go in and out.
Is it trustees?
It's not
Trustees at
part of a flat panel itself. So it would have that ornament type character to it.
Okay, are we good?
Yep, I think.
Thank you, and this concludes the hearing of application
You're
for
welcome.
modification of OCPUD 24-001. Close that hearing, also move to adjourn the regular meeting for the Berlin Township Board of Trustees. Moved by the chair and seconded by Trustee Bullard. Calling roll now. Trustee Bullard,
Yes.
Trustee Paycock,
Yes.
Trustee Rail, yes.
Thank you.